When the outside temperature rises and the meaning is oh so clear, 1001 yellow daffodils begin to dance in front of you, oh dear. Are they trying to tell you something? You're missing that one final screw. You're simply not in the pink, my dear. To be honest, you haven't got a clue. I'm going slightly mad. I'm going slightly mad. It finally happened. It finally happened. Whoa, it finally happened. I'm slightly mad. Oh dear. I'm one card short of a full deck. I'm not quite the shilling. One wave short of a shipwreck. I'm not my usual top billing. I'm coming down with a fever.
We'll fix it post.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Casual Cactus. And
It's a very bald side of the table.
something's missing, but
We're
I
missing
can't
you.
really decide
Frame.
what it is.
There you are.
Would have been more entertaining if they were also bald.
Oh gosh.
Welcome to this special bald edition of Casual Cactus. So some things have changed.
It's spreading.
It
It started with Steven, now it's to me.
Danny's next.
Yep, Danny's next.
Bum, bum, bum.
We are continuing.
I already did this.
We're a little bit late this week. Obviously, we had some things come up on Monday, so we have delayed.
I'm gonna shift and see if I can
Okay.
get Nat in the
Yeah,
front.
sure.
Touching it.
So we're a little bit later this week than we normally are. Apologies on that, but we are coming to you guys now, and
I think we're good.
hopefully I'm still in the frame.
Yes.
And we're gonna continue on with the adventures in Wonderland, Neverland, whatever you want to call it.
Never Wonderland.
Never Wonderland. Never wonder which land you're in. Sure, why not?
Wonderland.
Just a few announcements before we get started. As always, you can find all of the back episodes that we do on our YouTube channel, and we started trying to do recaps, and yeah, I fail hard.
It wasn't just you, Keith.
Yeah, no, this time it's all of us. This time it's all of us.
See, it's hard to do, right? It's hard to do. Anyway, we'll try and get caught up on all of those and get those up to you. We do have all of the back episodes available for you to watch as well, so you can go there and check that out. We are also running our Discord server, so you can check in with us and see all of the news and information that's coming up for us here on this channel, as well as Danny's creative streaming and Kyrie's creative streaming when those occur as well. I'm going to leave that there where it is, and we will roll right on in to the adventure. So Danny, take it away.
Hello, everyone. I am excited to see what kinds of mayhem we can create today. I have been playing with a few different interesting things that we might get to do, and some of them are in beta test mode. So don't judge if there are a few interesting things that happen very wrongly. We'll get around to fixing stuff as we can, but I'm excited to see how this goes. So. Should be good. Who would like to do a recap for us from last week? whole lot of it was RP, so probably not super crazy long. Hey Keith, most people are not hitting it. Up, and you're last.
Dang it!
If I don't write down.
Well, okay, so I have to remember where we started now. We were with the Red Queen, and we had kind of set up a little safe zone for her to stick around in while we had a conversation, so that she couldn't be taken back over by whatever nefariousness it was that was attacking her. After a little bit of discussion, she realized that we weren't going to be able to stick around to help her hold off the big baddie, and so she was going to need some assistance from the Pan, which gave her and Janice both no end of feels. So we sent for the Pan. They had a conversation. He reluctantly agreed to help her out, and then we set off on our way. Before we left the palace, we freed a rose bush that had been chained to the ground, like you do, and come to find out she was the queen, I think, of some place, and wanted to get back home.
Switch something.
Am
I totally off?
I'm sure I wrote it down somewhere, but I'm not looking.
Maybe I said a thing and I forgot to write it down.
Thimble branch.
Thimble.
Thorn
This
bramble.
little.
I've got her
Feather.
name. Her name was Featherthorn,
Featherthorn.
but I don't know where she was the queen of.
Wherever we're taking.
The rest of the place west of here.
Yes, so we are taking. We took her with us and headed west. We traveled for a little bit and saw a mountain sort of erupt in the distance, and the river in front of us became this river of quicksandy, lava-y, obsidian stuff. We rested overnight, and then the next day were able to get across it. We made our way into a bit of woods where we ran across a pair of travelers, Dee and Dumb. They're Tweedles, and
Nothing more.
nothing more than that. And we talked them out of eating us, basically, and then continued on our way. And I think that was pretty much where we left off, except we had run into something and were about to get into a fight, I think.
Yes, some shadows.
Yeah, some shadows had just shown up.
Shadows had just shown up. So
I'm glad you remembered that because I had forgotten it.
I think that's it.
All right.
We had taken a rest, right?
No.
You took a rest before.
We took a rest before we crossed the river.
Right.
Of sand.
I'm not sure that you guys have
But we haven't
done.
had.
We had a long rest at that point, but we haven't had a combat since.
Yeah,
Right,
you haven't.
nothing's happened,
Yeah,
so
you
we're
haven't done
fine.
anything combat wise.
Okay.
So
Because we ran into the
The
Tweedles.
note. Was anybody specifically carrying the bag of holding, or do I still have
I
that?
think you were the one that was carrying it. So.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure we knew where that was.
that's a good idea. That is fair. So, you are currently in a rocky outcropping that also is beginning to get into the wooded area. You have on the screen, you see a map that looks like it was painted by a 5-year-old, and that is that is the map that was given to them.
How many drawings by 5-year-olds have you seen?
She says as she gives us a map better than any map any of the rest of us have ever made.
Or anything I've ever drawn in my life.
I splotched a lot of paint on the page.
Point is, it looks really good.
I'm glad you like it. But you are approximately where those little swords crossing are. So you are on the outskirts of the Tugley Woods, and So it is beginning to become more wooded around you. I believe, if memory serves, you observed 2 shadows?
I think there was.
We
more
were
than that.
we were surrounded.
I
You
want to
didn't
say
tell
like
us.
5.
Oh.
But-
We were surrounded.
I think.
And that is all we were
6 was
told.
thrown up, but I'm not positive.
Okay. Well, I am going to.
We know it was more than 2.
Fair enough. I am going to do a little mini retcon on that because there are 2 shadows, but they seem to be getting a little smarter. So, you're seeing. Roll me perception checks. Let's start with that.
Nope. 4.
4.
4.
Ouch.
12.
12. Okay.
Unnatural 20.
Okay. Unnatural 20.
Oh, 22. Sorry. I forgot
That
what
was
my
a roller
bonus was
coaster.
for a minute. I was like 18, 22.
So unnatural 20, 22,
19.
19. Okay, you 3 see that there are 3 other creatures. The 2 of you guys, you see what appears to be. Can I count? I just said 3 other creatures. Okay, you see what appears to be 5 shadows. But the 3 of you who rolled relatively high, you guys notice that 3 of them look different than the other shadows. They seem to be fading into the rocks a little bit differently. Almost as though they are made of the stone itself.
Well, that can't be good.
And you can hear almost what sounds like a mocking giggle from the shadows that are flitting behind it. Let's see.
How many was that again?
So there were 3 that look more like big stone creatures. That
3 rock shadows.
yeah, rock shadows. I actually have it in here as stone shadow in my notes. And then 2 just straight up shadows. So one of the shadows, those of you with high perception can see shadow slipping into the shadows of the tree line, working its way towards you. One of the large stone shadows begins to get up off its haunches, and I'm going to go ahead and shift onto a map here just so that we can be able to gauge distances a little bit better. Where are we? How do I do this, Keith? Help me out.
The little blue tag at the top.
Blue tag at the top. Page toolbar.
Mm-hmm. And then there's the bookmark that looks like, or the bookmark that says players. Drag it to the map you want.
Take that there,
Okay.
and then click on that.
There you
Okay. Sorry.
Those are really big squares.
go. Ugh.
Whoa, those are really big squares. If I just minimize that, does it do that on your screen too?
No.
Well,
There's a
oops.
slider that lets you
Yeah.
change the size.
Sorry guys, I'm still technologically impaired.
That's okay.
Technologic. How did you just say that?
Technologically impaired? How did I say it differently than that?
I
In
think
my
so.
head, that's what I said.
Technological.
Okay.
Maybe it's just emphasis.
There we go.
I might have put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. It's
Okay.
been known to happen before. Because do. Whoa!
Okay.
My page just totally changed.
Does my avatar play?
Keith, save me! I can't change things. Sorry.
You're like an elf duelist, it looks like.
Okay, because from over here, it sort of looks like a wizard with a beard holding a stick.
It could also be that.
Beat you with sticks.
That is also possible.
Sorry, guys. I'm derpy.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Thank you. All right. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. So I'm going to.
Does anyone remember if I casted Gift of Alacrity
Yes, you did.
on myself, I believe? Okay, good.
You did that right before I ran into the Tweedles.
Right.
So would you guys be progressing forward in any particular order? Is there an order that you tend to walk in?
In the middle.
I'm usually towards the front.
Fair enough.
I can take up the back.
Okay. So we've got Claudius up in the front. We're gonna put you guys a little farther back than this. Elaine, you said you're usually like towards the rear?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll probably be close to the front.
James is not with you. Ignore him.
I'd say our guide should be up at the front, but our guide doesn't know where we're going either.
Especially not now. He kind of sort of did before. He just wasn't especially helpful. You said you're
Should
towards the
probably be
middle,
in the middle
Janice?
there.
Or?
Yeah, in the
Okay.
middle.
You're kind of in the middle here. Henry.
Middle.
Middle.
Probably behind Janice.
Emmeline.
Probably up near Claudius.
Okay.
Claudius.
Okay, you're a little too far back there. Okay. So we've got. Ignore all of the random things to the side. I really just have this here to give you an idea of combat map. Like.
So red, pink, and purple.
Red, pink, and purple. The red family are your stone monsters.
Okay.
And then this guy is your shadow sneaking up on you through the trees.
Which guy?
The blue.
Oh, okay.
So he is moving up towards you. All right. Whoa! I just changed my own screen. Sorry. We're back. I'm good. I'm telling you, I'm super technologically idiotic, so my bad. All right. So, this is kind of the layout that we have currently going on. I guess go ahead and they are clearly threatening, so go ahead and roll me initiative.
Really sure we don't want to talk to them.
I mean, you can try. You can make an attempt.
Okay.
Oof.
And then how do you want us to do this?
1 moment. Let me remember.
I see what you did there.
Okay.
You may not.
I don't
but
think
did.
he saw what he did there.
Alright.
Where is my... Where is the little thing that has initiative in here?
Getting used to new technology.
Sorry! I'll get better at this, I swear. I think Lance is going to have a tutorial session with me between now and the next time, so
I thought we did.
thank you.
We
It was like a real fast
said,
thing.
hey, we should do that, and then we never really did.
Yeah, that's a thing that happens. Okay, so, Janice, what you got?
16.
16. Alright.
Don't you miss
And
Phelan?
James is not here.
29!
9.
Red
That would
Queen is
be-
not here.
That would be. We do have the Queen is on.
Emmeline,
26.
26.
Months.
Nice. Okay, Shadow Baddies got a unnatural 20. We're just gonna handle all of them in one big fell swoop. Claudius?
Natural 20 for a 24.
Ooh, nice. 24. But that's a nat 20.
Just put 100 in front of it.
Yeah, there we go. 124. That
Higher
works.
than I've ever rolled in my life.
Elaine?
Unnatural 20.
20. What's your dex?
+5.
Okay, you're gonna go before the Shadow Baddies.
The Shadow Baddies do not have +5 in their decks.
They do not.
That's good.
Yeah.
Alright, and Henry.
24.
24.
Oh, this high roll.
Yeah, you
I
got
know.
it.
At the bottom.
Well, no, that was because of the Gift of Alacrity. Thank
Has that
goodness.
ever happened to you?
Not normally, no.
Yeah, you're never the last person. Well, were you? You might have been once in the last campaign.
All
remember ever
right.
being
Oh,
first
no.
in
You remember
initiative.
how it was sorted by?
I
Even
just
when
did.
I had natural
Sweet.
20s, it was like
Um,
somebody else or two other people had it.
we're showing that on our side at least, it's showing that it's the Shadow Baddie's turn.
Nope, not on my side. It's Claudius.
Okay.
Cool.
We'll trust you.
Yeah.
I put it in descending order, so my side shows up correctly.
Okay.
How far am I away from the nearest?
The nearest one you've got is, let me,
You're 20 feet away from the blue.
yeah.
Have I seen
25.
the blue one? Because I only rolled a 12. on
Oh
my
yeah, if
perception.
you only rolled a 12, you would not have seen it.
Okay, how
So
far am I from the green one?
your
Well,
other
that-
closest,
That's the other shadow, though, right?
that is the other shadow, but you guys did see the shadows. Like
Okay.
you're not, he didn't see the one
Right.
moving. You couldn't tell the difference between what was a shadow and what was something different.
Okay.
So yeah, so you can see that the one that's 25 feet that direction.
Okay, so I will run that distance,
Mm-hmm.
and I will do so horns out. And I'm gonna start with a
Charge!
horn attack.
All right. So use gonna horn attack.
That is 27 to hit.
That's gonna hit.
I'd be real concerned if it didn't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that is 7 points of damage.
All right.
And then I'm going to take my glaive and take another 2 swipes at it. That's 16, probably doesn't hit.
No.
And the next one is 19.
That will hit just.
Okay. That's it. That's cocked. And I reroll that. Okay, so that is 5 plus 5. So that's 10 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And that is. Yeah, that's my turn.
All right. Good deal. Okay. So that brings us to Emmeline.
So I saw Claudius charge off for the one shadow. Clearly he did not see the other one, so I'm going to go after blue.
Okay. You're gonna come straight up to him.
Yeah, I'm gonna close with him. Yep. And out come the claws.
This is very Wolverine of you.
Is a 25 going to hit? I assume
Yes,
so.
it is. Most definitely.
First attack is 7 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
Second attack, 17.
Okay, that is not gonna hit.
Okay. Then I am going to spend a key point for flurry of blows. 23.
That is definitely gonna hit.
For 6 points of slashing damage, and I would like him to make a dexterity save, please.
Okay. A dex save. Oh. Will? Does a 12 save?
No, it does not. He is knocked prone. My next attack will be now with
Certainly not
advantage.
Extra shadows. My goodness.
That is like the 5th time we've knocked a shadow prone.
And that is going to be another 23 to hit.
That's also going to hit.
And that'll be 7 points of slashing damage.
Alright.
And what else? And for this one, I'm actually going to use another key point, and it needs to make a con save.
Okay.
Look at you, stunning strike.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, okay, this dice is fired.
No, keep using it.
It does have a relatively strong con, but even that only brings it to 14.
Yeah, that's not going to be
Yeah.
enough. It is now stunned until the end of my next turn.
Okay, so there is now an incapacitated shadow there. Great. an incapacitated, knocked over shadow, and I'm still trying to figure out the physics of how that works. Alright, that brings us to Henry.
Okay. So what do I see? Which ones do I see?
You can see, you were one of my lower ones, right?
Mhm.
At this point, because Claudius and Emmeline are attacking the others, like, you are aware of all of the targets. You did not see the blue one because it was sneaking up on you,
Okay.
but now Emmeline is there, so.
Alright. If you would do me a favor,
Mhm.
measure from the green to the pink.
From the green to the pink. That is 40 square feet.
Fine. We'll get the other 3. I'm gonna move right next to Claudius.
Alrighty. Henry. To one side or another?
To his left side.
Left side. Bada boom.
Yes.
You're a little back there, but.
And I'm going to cast in a 30-foot cone pulse wave at 3rd level.
Nice.
And you are at the same level as Claudius, so that's not going to be.
No, I think you
It
wanted.
won't.
It's not going to hit Claudius,
It's
yeah.
not gonna hit
It'll
Claudius,
hit the other 3, but it
It'll
won't be.
barely miss.
Yeah.
And I need those 3 to make Constitution saving throws.
Alrighty. I'm not going to make it with that other dice that I just fired. I don't know that these will help, but you know, it's fine. Oh, this is better. Okay, so one is a 19, one is a 16, and one is a 12.
Okay, well, the 19 makes it, the other 2 do not.
Okay.
That's gonna be 16 points of force damage, and
Do the other ones take half?
the 19 takes half.
19
so
takes
he'll
half.
take 7.
Okay.
And the failed buckos will be pulled 15 feet closer to me.
Okay.
Hmm.
So let's see, we've got. Just a second, let me math. Maths are hard!
You're pretty tough, right?
17.
Oh yeah, I have like one of the higher hit points in the group.
And you're pretty tough, right?
Yes.
Okay.
AoE, my friend, E.
So
AoE.
we're taking 14 from these guys, and you said they're pulled how many feet to?
15.
15. Okay. So.
It's forced movement, so it doesn't.
5, 10. So that guy is gonna come right in front of you, and
The other one's gonna be basically right behind the green
Yeah.
guy.
so now you just have this, like these 2 giant stone dudes
Mhm.
and a shadow.
They're all within my range.
True.
Yes, they are.
Claudius, you gonna be alright?
I'll be fine.
Okay, I will bonus action Misty step back to where I was.
You good?
I'm gonna bamf out now.
You got this, right?
Because he was right next to you, right, Janice?
I was
Mhm.
two over to the left of Janice.
Okay, so like here-ish. Okay.
Yes, that's exactly
Alright.
where I was.
Excellent. All right, that brings us to Janice.
Great.
What you up to there?
So, I need everyone within 10 feet of the green guy to
Ow.
make a dexterity save.
Ouch.
9.
Oh my gosh.
The DC is 17.
Okay, 2 of them make it. One of them nat ones it. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I'm not super slow. Just from a 5. There's
When you
no
roll.
It's just that the weird
Oh,
dice have infected
my
everything.
Alright.
20, so.
So,
I'm so sorry.
Uh-oh.
everyone in that zone, a giant Venus flytrap comes up out of the ground and
Dude!
smacks and bites down on all of them. Anyone who made the save takes half of this damage, but
Okay.
it deals 30 points of radiant damage.
Hot damn.
And bludgeoning.
Oh yeah, and bludgeoning.
And bludgeoning.
Radiant damage from a Venus flytrap.
I mean, you take radiant damage.
It's a magical Venus flytrap.
30, okay.
It's a spell.
And?
Stuff. He's a cleric. So.
No, that was
Oh,
total.
okay, I thought there was an and that was...
It's radiant and bludgeoning
Okay,
damage.
okay.
So if they have any resistances or immunities.
Alright.
I don't.
That's not bad. That's what, like 1/3 of your hit points?
Mm-hmm. But you did just leave me with 3 of them.
I know.
And then I took 1/3 of my hit points.
Ouch. Okay. I can't maths! There we go.
Statistically, you fare better than I would.
Alright.
You can fight them back as they hit you.
Okay, you said bludgeoning and what? Bludgeoning
Radiant.
And radiant, okay. That one still applies appropriately. Okay. Well, that was fascinating. That's cool, Janice. And Elaine!
Okie dokie. Well, okay. So
You wanna deal with
everybody,
pink?
so Claudius and the 3 baddies over there just got whacked by a Venus flytrap.
Mm-hmm.
And Emmeline's over by a blue guy.
Mm-hmm.
Is pink guy up in the corner doing anything?
Not yet.
Okay,
He hasn't had
well-
a chance to yet, but he's gonna.
So is Claudius still like trapped in this flytrap thing?
No,
Or did
it
just,
comes up and
like-
it bites, and then it like sort of like regurgitates them, and it goes back underground.
Gotcha. Okay.
I
Well,
just imagine them being covered in
Yep.
like
goo.
goo. Yeah, they are covered in saliva of
Fire
Venus
and bludgeoning.
flytrap now.
Nice. Okay. Can I? Do I have enough movement to make it over there?
Let's see.
Not without
Yeah.
sprinting.
Lane. Where are you trying to get to the pink one, or
No. Over to Claudius.
probably not? Like that's where your 30 feet is.
Okay. Well, then I will get over there.
you
You could make it to the blue
you
one.
can make it to the blue one.
Okay. Yeah. Then actually, I'll just go ahead and do that.
Okay. Oh, it
Claudius
helps
is
if I
probably fine.
grab a hold of it and actually move it.
The confidence is
You're all right, Claudius. It's okay.
Fine.
You're not gonna
Fine.
die or anything.
Fine.
All right.
And as a reminder, that one is stunned.
Oh,
and
stunned and prone.
so you
So
have
I have-
advantage.
Oh well, that was a nat 20.
That sounds like you need to dump some smite.
Yes, it does.
A lot of
Oh,
smite.
wait, I get a thing.
Oh, the smite.
Hold on.
Oh, and your crit range.
Yeah, I
so
have
they
a
fear.
thing. Within 30 feet. Oh well.
Keep getting distracted by the sheer amount
Within
of shine
30
on this side of the
feet.
table from the...
Of their. So I guess Henry and Emmeline. You get 1d6 plus 3 extra hit points.
You'll need to roll that.
1d6 plus what?
Oh, one. Right,
you
I have
have
to
to roll.
I have to roll that, but
Ooh.
Everybody
Uh,
within that range? Because that would also include Janice.
no. Oh,
Okay,
would
what's
it?
happening?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
if it
Oh, okay.
includes Henry, it would.
For some reason, I thought that was James. It's far away.
James isn't with us.
Yes.
Right. Okay, then yes. Emmeline, Henry, and Janice get 5 extra hit points.
Temporary. hit points.
Temporary hit
Awesome.
points.
Okay.
And, now I should roll the damage and do the smite thing. Because.
Just for grins, could you measure from Elaine over to Claudius for me?
Elaine to Claudius. Elaine to Claudius is about 50 feet. Like
Yeah.
45, 50 feet.
Yeah. Okay.
Depending on which
Yes.
end of Claudius.
I was trying for you.
I appreciate it.
Okay, so how does the crit damage work with my smite?
You do the max and then you roll it.
With the smite too?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Because we do it with sneak attack.
Yep. Anything you would roll.
Damn it.
This is gonna be a real unhappy
Max and
shadow.
roll.
Yeah, he's gonna have
Depends
a
on
really
how
bad
many
day.
smites you want to dump in and whatnot.
Just do one.
One
one
level.
level 2. So that would be 3d8.
8.
So that's
24
so 24.
plus your roll.
But that's just the smite damage.
Yes.
So also.
Hey.
Woo!
Thank you for the minis! Woo!
So an extra d6.
So 24, that's 30
30. So 35
plus your roll.
plus the roll. Okay. And that is. Wait, am I rolling the smite too?
Yes.
Right. Oh my gosh, guys. It's ridiculous. So that was 35. So that's.
Leave it at 35 because you've got 1d6 and then 2 d8s, not d6s.
It's 3d8.
Smites are 8s.
Right.
So
Right.
you'll want to re-roll one of those and then put in 2 d8s.
Okay, so that's.
New class math.
Okay, what are you rolling here? 'Cause you
So
need
these
d8s.
Smite
Those are
equals
sixes.
big number. Smite plus 20 equals big
So
number.
roll one of those and then roll one of these and
It's a bunny
I'll have one of
cactus.
these out, 'cause
That's
A couple
awesome.
more 8s.
1,
I like the bunny
so that's
cactus.
7, 10, so that's 10,
So 45
45,
plus a
And
d6.
she's not done yet.
48,
that's it.
48 points of damage.
Plus
oh
whatever,
my
plus
gosh.
whatever you add on top. For
Yeah,
your,
Loudy,
that's
loudy.
everything.
Part of it.
That was
48 points of radiant.
bloody brilliant. Okay.
And that is radiant damage. So that's
yeah.
radiant damage
Well,
if it makes a difference.
all but 3 points of that are
All but 3. Yeah.
You see like the form of the shadow like kind of try and recoil against the pressure, and you can see part of it dissipating off to the side as it shrieks a bit, and you hear this and it kind of it's still a little bit stapled down to the ground, but hopefully not for long. Is that your
Yes.
go? All right. Now Shadow Batty turn. Woo! All right.
Blue
So
one does not get
Blue
to go.
does not get to go.
He's stunned
Nope.
until Keith's next.
yes,
The
he
end of your
is.
next turn,
End
right?
of my
Yeah.
next turn. Assuming I don't, stun it again.
So a Pinky back here is gonna move forward. He's gonna pick up a large boulder from where
Yep.
he is sitting, and he's going to chuck it at Emmeline.
Remember, you can catch ranged weapons.
That's gonna be a 28. I'm assuming that hits.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
Oh, just barely.
Do it.
Just a
Do
bit.
it.
Just a
Just a
bit. All
Do it.
right.
Oh,
So
shit.
that's
I have
gonna
to, I have to remember how to
be
do this. Hang on.
I should have done that.
4d10.
Okay.
Where are my tens?
Is it something missiles?
Yeah,
Missile?
it's
Catch missile?
deflect missile.
Deflect missile.
So
Oh, how far are you?
That's
Roll
gonna
to
be
reduce it.
roll to reduce it.
This paladin thing isn't so bad.
Is 24 plus 5 is 29
Okay,
So
so
you don't get to throw it back.
I don't get to throw it back.
plus 6 is 35.
5.
Thank you. Maths are hard tonight, you guys. Oh my
So
gosh.
take-
Wait. About the
Yeah.
35
Do what you're gonna do with that.
less 17 because deflect missile.
More
so
maths.
So I'm only going to take 18.
You should need to have calculators.
So
18.
5 of that's going to be my temporary hit points.
So 13.
Awesome.
So I'm going to take 13 points of
Ouch.
Ow!
Yes.
Hold out just a little longer. I have a spell that can help you. I will
also
destroy
have
them
healing
all.
things.
Oh, good. We have a healer of the group.
Okay.
If you actually want to take it.
Excellent. Okay. So that
can go
happens,
save
and
them.
then
Because I don't have anything
oh,
to deal
poor
with
Claudius.
the pink one effectively.
This is a really crappy situation for him to be in. Let's see.
Depending on how long he lives.
So Claudius.
I'm gonna tell
Oh my gosh. So the shadow just smooth up misses you. I don't know how, but he
The
does.
green one?
Yeah, the green one straight up misses you. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the rock one, the first rock one does too. Does a 15 hit?
No.
Okay, so one of the big rock ones, in his anger and confusion about being like jerked towards you, just kind of takes this big swing, and you just duck out of the way of it because he's just kind of angrily barroom brawl flailing this big rock arm towards you. You dodge that one. However, I have a feeling an unnatural 20 connects.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the other one has, while it doesn't seem as though he's aiming any better,
Do they have
he
10
is
foot
luckier.
range? Do they have 10-foot range?
Well,
Claudius is big.
True.
Well, I'm still a medium creature, technically.
that is true. Let me
Oh.
see.
I just have 10 foot because of my polearm.
Okay.
I actually have.
So you actually should be
Oh,
a
that
single
actually
square
matters.
instead of a.
Yeah, that does actually matter.
For some reason, I thought you were a
A large creature.
Yeah, I'm not.
I can fix that.
I'm on the large side of a medium
Of
creature.
medium. The
Okay.
large side of medium.
Huh?
In fact,
Whoa, he's
pretty
not that
darn
small.
close to.
Very tiny.
Now he looks much smaller than everyone else. So actually, that last one is going to end up.
Well, I mean, they could probably move.
Yeah,
to
he could
hit me
move,
without
and
a problem.
probably would. So he would end up moving towards you, and he would actually take a swing and hit.
Perfect line.
So yeah, this might work out really great for somebody else that they did that. They're not the brightest, but so he takes a big swing at you and manages to really connect super well, and that's gonna end up being d6. Oh, all of my d6s are in here from last time. Okay, plus 6, 4, not 5.
Yeah, for some reason I
6,
thought you
12,
were
13, 14, 16.
Large creature.
a large.
That makes sense.
Plus 6 is going to be 22 points.
Like a large creature for some situations.
No.
So we've got 22 points of bludgeoning.
Okay.
And
If you want to go deal with them in the line.
I think
I'll go
that's
deal
it.
with-
I don't have a line.
You don't have a line one,
I
Cat?
thought I had a line. I did have a line spell, but then I
It's
traded
always
it
rigged,
for,
Jartown. It's always rigged. I do think Stream
Geomancy
Elements
spells.
is rigged. Oh, right. So that brings us back
to the top of the
up
round.
to Claudius.
Alright. Well, that hurt.
Yes, it did.
I don't really know how tripping works, but we're gonna go ahead and try it.
You mean like drugs?
No. I mean,
Probably
like,
get
pushing them
half
to the
if you wanna
ground.
Still do that. You
Um,
can probably get them half.
so I'm gonna go ahead and take a swing at the biggest one. I guess there's two of the rock ones right in front of me, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'll take a swipe at the one directly in front, the purple one.
Okay.
I assume
Well, I've
a
got
24 hits.
Yes, it does.
No, not that. That one.
So that is 10 and
Bring them
20
all together.
points, 25 points of slashing damage,
Or I could do that
and it
with
needs
blue
to
and
make
pink.
a strength
I
save.
should do it with blue and pink.
I'll leave
Strength
the
DC 17.
Wow, it has a high strength and did not make it. Because I can't roll for a hill of beans when I'm sitting in this chair. So, yeah, it fails.
Okay,
Keith's like,
so it is
Now I understand,
it is
Keith.
prone.
This one is actually a
Question mark?
rock thing, so yes,
Okay,
that would be, yeah.
Okay, so that was 25. So then I'm gonna go ahead and swing again. Does a 21 hit?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Same target or the
Same
or-
target. Yeah. Well. Oh, and advantage.
Yep.
Yes. 24. But okay.
Either way, it gets hit.
Yeah.
Reroll that. Yes! It's another 15 points of slashing damage.
Nice.
And then I'm going to use the butt of my spear, or my glaive rather. 9. And natural 20.
Ooh!
Excellent.
Well, I mean, it would have been better if that was on one of the other hits, because this is only a d4, but so it'll be 4 plus 5, which is 9, plus 2.
11.
So yeah, 11 points of damage on that one. And you know what? Let's action search.
Yeah.
Let's.
Okay, so I'm gonna swing again. So that's gonna be 13. I'm assuming that misses.
Yes, that's a
Yeah.
miss.
Whiff.
Swing again. 22. Or 21. So 22.
22 will hit.
Okay. And that's gonna be 8, 9, 10, 13 points of damage.
Nice.
And that'll be it, because I don't get an extra bonus action.
You said 13?
Mm-hmm. So that was 25, 13, and something.
That one is looking real rough. Like, there are parts of him that are sort of, like, crumbling away. He still looks strong. He still looks like a hit from him would suck. But he looked a whole heck of a lot healthier a few minutes ago. A few seconds ago. Seeing as each of these rounds is 6 seconds. Nicely done. So that's you?
The question remains, though. So none of these have a 10-foot reach, right? They're
No.
all 5 feet.
Yeah.
So
Before you do what you're going to do, you should second wind.
I don't have an extra bonus action though.
Oh, that's true.
That's right.
It's okay, I will come get you.
Oh, should the red one be closer to me?
Actually, yeah, it would be kind of like you guys would be. It would sort of be sharing the space with this guy as best he could.
Okay.
They would be right next to each other.
So doing that is 2 attacks of opportunity, which I don't want to do. So I will go ahead and end my turn there.
Okay. Alright, so that brings us down to Emmeline, yes.
Alright, so I still have my little friend on the ground in front of me.
Little friend.
So I'm going to just rake my claws across him. Still have advantage, he is still prone.
And stunned.
And stunned. 23 will hit
Yes, it will.
for 6 points of slashing damage.
I mean, every little bit counts.
Every little bit counts, but man, that just kind of. And then that's going to be a 27 for another 7 points of slashing damage.
Yep.
Key point for flurry of blows. That's gonna miss probably 14.
Yeah, that misses.
And then another 27 for
That's another hit.
11 points of slashing damage. And he is going to remain stunned. Have him make the con save again.
Another cat.
That's better. Okay, that's gonna be 25.
Oh, no, yeah. Okay. Yeah, he made it.
He made it. He made it.
So he is no longer stunned.
All right, and that brings us to Henry. What you got, Henry?
How far is the pink guy from me?
The pink guy is Henry. 25, 30 feet.
Okay, I'll stand right next to him.
Oh, okay, so you're gonna poof over?
No, I'm just gonna walk.
Oh, you're just gonna walk over?
Mhm.
Do 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 do. Ba-da.
One more up.
Nope.
I'm gonna look at him, smile. I'm gonna open my palm. I'm gonna shove a pocket watch, about 10 feet forward,
Okay, like towards him?
past him,
Past him. Okay.
right by that corner. And then the pocket watch is going to open, and a black hole is going to appear. I need blue and pink to make a con save.
Wow! That's cool. One of them I have a feeling makes it. One of them I have a feeling does not.
Sure.
So the pink guy rolled a 23.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
The blue guy made a 10.
No. Alright. So, the blue guy will be pulled up by at least one. Because the force of gravity pulls him. The pink one won't because he succeeded.
Okay.
And both of them are going to take 33 points of damage, and then half that for pink.
33?
Yes.
Okay. So
16.
yeah.
Then the pocket watch will close and return to my hand.
You hear the blue one like shriek at
Feel
you.
good.
And he continues to he looks like he's just holding on to his ability to stay on this plane. He's like scratching the
Right.
ground and backing away from the black hole.
Okay.
And parts of him are kind of getting sucked up into it.
Okay.
And then 16 for the pink. Alright. Okay, good deal. And that brings us. Are you gonna stay there? Or
I'll
you,
stay there.
Okay. That brings us down to Janice.
Alrighty. So, in one blink of an eye, where Janice was, there is now an amber statue of him that turns to dust,
Well, that's
and
cool.
he is now standing behind Claudius.
There you are.
And then, so we're in like a rocky area, you said, right?
There are forest-ish things around, like you're getting into forested areas, so there are trees.
So
but it's
a bunch
rocky.
of like the small rocks and pebbles begin forming into these like pint-sized creatures that begin running around in a 15-foot circle around Janice and attacking all of the enemies there. They all need to make wisdom saves.
Guardian.
That's so
Love
neat.
that spell.
Okay, so 3 need to make wisdom saves. You said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, they are not wise at all. So the highest is a 14.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
Alrighty.
Congratulations, baddies, you have failed.
They all take 15 points of radiant damage.
Alright. So that's gonna end up bringing that guy down to that. That's 15. We're gonna knock that back. 15 is. I can't math. There we go. That's better. Alright. Sorry, almost dropped my book there. Okay. Nicely done, Janice. Very good. Is that you?
Yep, that's my turn.
Okay. Elaine, what you got?
Okay. Let's see. Henry's over by the pink one. Okay.
The blue's on his last legs. Get him.
Well, Janice is over with Claudius now, so I'm not as worried. Okay, yeah, we're gonna get the blue one.
Thanks.
Well, I mean,
Your wife no longer feels the need to come rescue you.
alright.
Be the hero of your own story, babe.
I'm gonna attack the blue one. Do I have a advantage on the blue one? Is he still... No? Okay, well,
No.
that's...
He broke from his.
He's not stunned.
Yes, he's
He's
not
not
stunned.
stunned. However, he
is
has not
prone.
gotten up yet.
So he is prone.
Yes,
So
sir.
Oh, so yes. Thank you.
Well, okay.
14.
14?
14 does not. No.
Yeah. Okay, well.
It was a valiant effort.
Oh, wait,
You
I get it
do
to
attack.
twice.
Yeah, it's like you
I
did a
didn't
second
do
attack.
that last time.
Oh,
Okay. Would have been more than 48 points of damage if I hit. Well, this one's gonna miss too, so I'm just flailing around like an
Did you
idiot.
do advantage?
You
For
did not
second
roll
one?
it with advantage.
Doesn't matter.
Did you let Steven touch your dice?
No.
What have we
That
learned
was the
about
one that
letting
rolled
him
me a
touch the
20.
dice?
It's just,
Right, mine rolled
It's all
me a
out.
22, but
It's all out of luck.
It's all balance.
All right. So blue guy is gonna use his movement to freaking stand up because ridiculous. So he is going to go ahead and stand and move back towards Elaine since she was the one who just attempted to.
Oh, I guess Elaine would have had to move up to make that attack, though.
Oh, that's true. No, that's fine. So he's not going to move up to Elaine because Elaine's right there. Oh, that's probably going to hit. That's going to be a 24.
Oh yeah,
So
that hits.
that's going to hit. All right, so that is going to be. There's the crap roll. That is going to be 13 points of slashing damage.
13.
Yes.
Okay.
And then Reddy McRed over there, or Pinky McPink.
Mhm.
I used poor colors given my issue with colors. Oh, that's gonna hurt.
No, he won't.
No, he
Temporal
won't?
shunt. Make a wisdom save.
Let me set this to the side. Oh, I think he made it. He's not wise, but he did make a 19 just on the roll.
Ah, dang it. Okay.
Okay.
There goes a 5th level spell.
So I'm guessing a 27 hits you.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So that's gonna end
Yeah,
up being.
probably best I had used that.
That's a slam.
A slam.
Oh my gosh! But he can't roll damage to save his life.
He
I
deals
guess.
So that's
7
gonna be
points of damage.
It's not far 9. He's gonna do, this giant arm reaches up, but he just skims you because apparently his sense of direction sucks because he's still being pulled towards a freaking black hole.
Okay.
So he skirts you and does 9 points of bludgeoning damage.
Well, alright then.
Was such a solid hit until it wasn't.
Yes.
All right. Purple McGee over here is gonna.
Stand up.
Oh yes, that is correct. He's going to stand up, and then he is going to take another swipe at Claudia's. I'm guessing a 23 hits.
Yep.
Oh.
Again, huh?
Let's see. But this one is going to be a.
By the way, those 3 have to make, over by me, have to make wisdom saves again.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Again.
So we know that one hits. We're gonna do. Okay. The purple one is the only one that makes it.
What did he roll?
He rolled a 19. Okay,
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, you might have higher than that. So
No,
Okay.
he made it.
so, all of the other 2 rolled single digits. So and they have no bonus.
Those 2 take 13 points of radiant damage,
Okay.
and the one who made it takes half that.
7. 6.
6. Okay. So let me math for just a second here. Sorry guys, I gave myself high numbers that I had to math. This was a mistake on my part.
We'll tell her later.
There's an easier way to do that. We'll tell you later.
Okay. So the one does connect with you. Does that give any kind of disadvantage or anything like that? Okay.
Just slows them down if
Okay.
they walk.
Cool. So that's 9, 10, 11. Plus is going to be. That's an easy one. 16. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So that's that guy. And seeing that the purple guy is taking you on, green guy is gonna swing wide.
He has half of his normal movement.
He's not taking his normal movement anyway. He's just hanging out over by you. And oh my gosh. Steven's just getting all of my high rolls. Although one of these is still gonna hit. 22 I assume hits.
Hits me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a 13 I assume does not.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
And then retaliation, I'm gonna hit him.
Yes. Are you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good. Let's see. Okay, so Janice, you end up with
Actually, maybe I'll sink.
19 points of damage.
Okay.
And what do you?
Okay, so I am going to hit him, and I'm also going to use a battle maneuver. So I'm going to allow Janice to move up to half his movement as a
Okay.
reaction.
Okay.
Janice is going to move to the other side of the green guy.
We're just going to pretend you just pass right through him there. Ta-da.
Oh wait, I still have 5 feet movement.
Uh-huh.
I will move up 5 more,
So, right here?
right across the red guy from.
Perfect. Okay, so he will take 3 plus 9 is 12 plus 5 is 17 points of damage for hitting Janice.
And this is
Green
green
guy.
guy? Okay.
Yeah.
So, green guy.
What you get for hitting Janice?
Dare you!
Why you bullying me?
What's that?
How many? Sorry.
17?
17, sorry, yeah.
No worries.
Benadryl.
I don't even have the Benadryl excuse, and I can't math.
Homeboy's gonna be real sorry he moved into touch range of me.
Okay. So, alright. Was that all of them? I think that was
Red
all of
hasn't
them.
moved, I don't think.
Red tried to attack. He can move, but he's probably not going to because he's in this now. So yeah, he probably wouldn't move. That's gonna be a really poor decision for him, but he's probably not gonna move. Okay, so that brings us back up to Claudius.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and bonus action second wind.
Okay.
Be 12 points, which puts me back up to
Toxic
40.
viewer has turned up in the stream. Hey, Stormy.
Okay.
You can need these on your turn.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna borrow one for mine.
So I'm going to start with the purple one since that's where I started before.
Mhm.
And I'm going to take a swing at him. Ouch. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and do a precise shot. Which adds... Yeah. So what is 9 plus 3 is 12. Plus 9 is 21 to hit.
Yes.
Okay. And I'll just go ahead and use that for damage. Reroll that. Ah, crap. Well, that's only 7 points of damage.
Do you not get to add your?
No, so that one just adds my dice to hit.
I thought some of them do. I thought that was one of them.
Although actually, I'm also gonna dump into that. I'm going to do a tripping attack, put him on the ground again.
Okay.
He needs to make a strength save,
Okay.
and that one will add damage, and that'll be another 6 points. So that was 13 points all told.
19 save?
It does, yeah.
Okay.
So he's still up.
So how many altogether? Sorry.
Sorry, that was. I just lost my number. I think that was 6 plus 7, which is 13.
Okay. So we've got. Alright.
Okay, and then I'm going to swing a second time.
Swing, bada bada bada.
That'll be 27 to hit.
27.
Now
That is
go away
definitely
before
gonna
I
hit.
dunk you a
second
time.
And that's going to be 14 points of damage.
14. Alright.
And that will be my turn.
He's starting to look pretty crumbled up. He's still hanging in there, and he's still kind of raging against the person in front of him. But yeah, that he hurts. He hurts bad.
So close.
Raging against the machine. And yes, and me is you go.
Okay, so I am going to use 30 of my 50 feet of speed. I'm going to whip around to the right side of Elaine, around the blue guy, and I want to be behind him. So I want to have the blue guy between me and Elaine.
Okay.
For flanking?
So, blue guy between you and
You
Elaine.
will.
Just a second.
That's why I was going the long way around.
One moment, I zoomed out. I did not mean to zoom
That's
out.
okay.
Okay, so Emmy, you are going here. Wait, you are what now?
So I'm taking the long way around to get behind the blue guys, so that I don't
So he doesn't
incur
incur an attack of
The
opportunity
wrath.
off purple.
the rack of pink.
The rack of pink!
Anyway,
Ghost store.
the point is, I want to be there,
Okay.
and I'm going to
Appearance. Vanilla lady would go there.
ask for him with my claws. 24 to hit.
Yes, indeed.
Deals 9 points of slashing damage.
All right. He looks real rough.
And second attack will be an unnatural 20
That'll also hit.
for 11 points of slashing damage.
He looks so rough.
Can I get
Okay, I will
4 more d10s from you?
use a key point for flurry of
Realize I've got
blows.
some spell slots that I'm not going to use.
And that will be that'll be a high 25.
How you want to do this?
I just want to like rip my claws through him and have him disappear in a puff of.
And he does.
Fantastic! I still have one more
Turned into the
one more of my flurry of blows, so I am going to slide over 5 feet behind Pink.
The red dot got away.
Get T gone.
It's
Okay.
that laser pointer.
So you're coming here?
Yep.
Pink?
Yep.
Okay.
In behind Pink, so that Henry and I are flanking with him. Final shot. A 24.
Yep.
Will deal 10 points of slashing damage.
Yep.
And I would like for him to make a dexterity save, please.
Alright. He is not the most dexterous. Oh, he is definitely not the most dexterous. So,
He is now prone.
okay, big rock dude is just face planted. And
And
how many did you say? Damage?
10 points.
10 points. Okay.
You know what? Sure. Make a con save.
Con save. Even with a +6, it's a 9.
Yeah, he is now stunned as
I
well.
feel that.
So he is stunned until the end of my next turn
Okay.
and cannot do anything.
Okay, alright. That's a thing that just happened. Okay. And down to Henry.
If he's stunned, he can't take reactions, right?
Right.
Correct.
Okay, I'm gonna go down 1 and left 2.
So hanging out with Emmeline over here? Oh, left 2.
Yes.
There
You
you go.
sunk my battleship.
There we go. And then I will bring out the clockwork dagger, and I will
Yeah.
cast Still Wind Strike on the 4 remaining with advantage as they are flanked and stunned.
You're casting what now? Sorry.
Steel Wind Strike.
Steel Wind Strike. Cool.
For the sake of brevity, what do I need to roll for ACs?
Oh, for ACs?
Yes.
You need to make, let's see, for the green guy, you need to make an 18. For
Okay, I
the stone
did that
guys,
one.
you need to make 19s.
Okay, well, I did that one. Did it with that one. Did it with that one. Last one. I'll come back here.
Does
Okay,
anyone
all
want
of
that
them
last
hit.
one before I kill it?
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10, 20. 28 points of force damage to all of them.
28
28.
Nice.
And I will,
to all of them.
all of them.
All the bad guys.
All the bad guys take
He
28
teleports
points of
around the
force.
map, hitting
Yes.
people.
Doing my signature ding
There.
Ding.
and teleporting between
There.
behind every one of them. And then I will.
Purple guy is looking real rough.
How's red guy looking?
Red guy is not happy about life, but he's, you know,
He's not dead yet.
he's not dead
And
yet.
how's green looking?
Green is looking pretty rough.
And I will appear flanking with purple.
Okay,
So
so,
you'll appear
you're
above
going
purple?
to.
Yeah.
You're going to come up here.
Yes.
Okay.
I assume Elaine can help you with the pink one.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So that brings you. Sorry, I keep moving my own screen accidentally, and that's
It
a very
scares me.
confusing thing all around. Janice.
So I'm gonna take my staff and stab it into red guy in front of me.
Okay.
Does a 26 hit him?
Yes. Yes.
Good. So as I stab him with my staff, from where my staff hits, he starts turning to amber and it starts spreading out from there. And I deal.
New casting?
Something awesome.
Oh my gosh!
You
He's
have
counting
cast
a lot
that
of
all-
numbers.
62 points of damage.
What did you cast?
Inflict wounds at 4th level. Because I realized I'm not going to be using any of my 4th level spell slots.
Oh my god.
And this is red guy
Yeah,
for 62.
62.
62.
Jeez.
I can do that 2 more times.
Assuming you hit, can I have my brass back?
Well, and that's kind of why
Wow.
I let him move over there, is
Yeah.
so both of us can. Make sure we
You
can
know, something that I haven't done with the stone guys that I should have, it wouldn't really apply to the shadow guys.
I should have been doing something. Do they crumble?
No,
No,
but they do
Tommy,
go
don't
unconscious.
turn into
Oh.
Dome pygmies.
Wow. I don't think any of you have actually taken them down by half their hit points yet.
no.
So this is the first time that's been a thing, I think, except maybe for you when you got the other one down to his last few.
Maybe.
Yeah, the
That's okay.
the red guy is currently unconscious. 'Cause,
Yep.
yeah, that's a thing.
That's good.
Excellent. Well done. That was awesome. Elaine, or do you have anything else up your sleeve?
That's my turn.
that was a large turn.
Oh, actually, if he's unconscious, I'm gonna move to be kitty corner across green from Claudius, so we're still flanking.
So hurrah. Down one, down. It's getting stuck. Sorry. Let's try that. There we go. There.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome sauce. All right.
Homeboy, it's not a good idea to move next to me.
It's a bad plan. Okay, now Elaine.
Okay, how's pink guy looking?
Pink guy is
He's
now
prone
looking,
and stunned.
but
and on the
currently
ground.
looking a lot
He's
better than
not
red guy, which
doing-
wasn't true a minute ago. Yeah, he's not great, but he's probably the best off of all of them at the moment.
He's been engaged with us the shortest amount of
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
I'm assuming 25 hits.
D10s on your turn.
25 definitely
No.
hits.
Okay.
All of them again?
Yeah, those 2 and 4 bar.
There you go.
Let's. You know what? Let's dump another second level.
Why not? What are spell slots?
Okay, let's dump another second level smite.
So
that's-
where are you moving up to?
Let's move up to. I'm gonna be up to Emmeline's left.
Okay, so you're gonna be to her left?
Yeah.
So, like, on this side of the pinky? Or,
I can't see what you're doing.
sorry, I don't know
To the
why.
west of the pink
To the
one.
west of the pink guy.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
did it? Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
So it doesn't actually
It's
move.
only gonna-
it
it's
just
only
clicks
gonna-
in. Okay,
Update when you drop
I
it.
did not
So one of
realize
those
that.
is a d6, I think, because you're using your short sword.
Yes.
So one
No,
is a
so
d6.
So
and
it's
then
3d8 and a
2 points.
d6.
Yeah. Okay.
No, because I'm using a second level smite, which
Okay.
is 2d8 plus 1 for each additional level, so it's
Right,
3.
and then a d6 as well.
Right. So and then 20 plus, so 25 points of damage.
25 points of damage.
Oh, and then I attack again.
24.
Yeah, 24 to hit.
That is going to.
How's he looking?
He's compared to when he started, he's looking real rough. He still looks better than all of the rest of them, but he looks real rough.
Okay, we're just gonna use a first level smite in this one. So,
Just a wee smite.
so 3.
It's a mini smite.
Oh,
You
well,
did
that's-
remember your
then I-
advantage, right?
Yes.
Okay.
4. So that's only 9 points of damage.
Hey, at this point, every little bit counts, and you're getting him farther and farther down. So,
Okay.
To the death.
to the death. My goodness.
To the pay.
All right. So, is that you?
Yes.
Okay. So that brings us back to the baddies.
He does not get a turn.
All three of, well, I guess red guy automatically fails. Purple and green both need to make wisdom saving throws.
Does a 16 make it?
Nope.
Okay, so both of them fail, and which guy automatically fails?
Red, because
Red,
he is
okay.
unconscious.
So red is unconscious, so what's the damage there?
11 points of radiant damage.
Whew. Okay, 11, 11, 11. And so, oh wait, yeah, that's correct. I almost applied that to the wrong one over there. I have too many bad guys over here. 11, okay. So Purple McPurple Face over there is he's looking pretty haggard. He is crumbling away pretty rapidly. And he is going to take a swipe at Henry. Does a 19 hit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if
Not
I
gonna
shield.
that.
Oh, even if I shielded, it was still fine. I can only get to 18 with shield.
So that's gonna
Down that low
be
is-
I only have 13 armor.
that's gonna be 6. That's gonna be 20 points of bludgeoning.
Okay.
And
That's not bad.
Oh, got a little banged
And
up
I'm
this
going
one.
to retaliate.
oh yes.
How dare you hit Henry? You monster.
Ooh, I'm gonna miss.
Even with advantage.
Yeah, I rolled a 1 and a 5.
So with unconsciousness, do they try and make the con save again each turn? How does that
It
work?
No,
has
yeah.
to be if not.
No.
He automatically fails.
Okay, so he automatically fails that. So he's still unconscious.
Oh wait.
He's not a, yeah, he's just unconscious.
He's just unconscious.
He's not
Someone
making
would.
death saves.
Someone would
has
have
to
to wake
save
him
him.
up.
Okay,
Right.
gotcha. I
Sorry.
couldn't remember.
So unless
you're fine.
that extra 11 points of damage pushed him below his hit points, he's just unconscious.
Does a 14 hit you, Claudius?
14? No.
Okay. The green shadow kind of reaches a tendril out towards you and tries to take a swipe at you and
That's
misses. And that I think
I
is
mean, still not like.
oh the
Sorry,
pink
level.
one is still stunned.
Still stunned. Does not get an action.
So yeah, that's their turn, and we're back up to Claudius.
Alright, strike 1 goes at purple.
I am sure it does.
27.
That'll hit.
It's gonna be 8 points of damage.
That's not quite half.
Okay, and then I will swing again. 22 to hit.
It will.
And that's gonna be another 8 points of damage.
I'll make that con save.
Okay.
Okay, so 8 is gonna be
and then a miss.
Swing and a miss. He looks so rough. Yeah, there are parts of him that are just crumbling away and falling into dust on the ground. It's real bad. It's real bad. All right. And that brings us down to is that it on your side? Emmeline, what you got?
Going to say hello to my little friend. No, I'm not. First attack was, wow, double nat ones.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Ouch.
I feel like something fun has to happen with that.
So, yeah.
No fun. No fun. Sure.
Break your hand on the rocks.
Go ahead and do what else you're gonna do. I'm gonna work this out as we go.
Okay, well, second hit. 25
That'll definitely
for
hit.
10 points of slashing.
Okay.
Key point. Flurry of blows. 26 and 10 points of slashing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still prone, still stunned. Last hit will be a 24
Mm-hmm.
for 10 points of slashing. And go ahead and make that con save again.
That timing makes it.
What'd you roll?
So that is going to be a 20.
That'll be enough. Dang it. It's always the second one. Okay.
So
And now he's no longer stunned.
you
Now he is no longer stunned.
you go towards him to slash at him the first time, and as you stumble forward over your own foot, you manage to catch your own self just slightly. You're just gonna do it's just gonna be a small thing. The double nat ones, you gotta have some kind of something.
It's gonna be a small thing. 13 points of damage.
Like as you stumble forward, you manage to come through with one, thinking that you're about to hit, and then come through with the other and jab yourself in the shoulder for 4 points of damage. Mazel tov, you've done damage to yourself on this one.
You smack your funny bone really, really hard.
But all of the other rolls were still successful, so other than looking like a darn fool in front of your adventuring friends,
Yeah, nobody can see him from here.
that's fair. You managed to go through, reasonably unscathed. All right, is that you?
That is me.
Entering the 8th I am.
What?
Sorry.
Right. So red is just flat on the ground, right?
Yeah, red's just.
And how tall are the other two?
They are.
Are they taller than Claudius?
They would be considered large, yeah.
Okay, so they're taller than Claudius.
Yeah.
Good.
Just a bit.
I will take the silver pocket watch, fling it up in the air, and I will create a black hole. In the essence of the sphere will only get the 2 large creatures, and they will.
We're thinking vertical.
We will attempt to lift them up. I need both of them to make Constitution saving throws.
Now I need a 3D map.
I mean, if you want to do a
Saves?
physical map,
Yes.
I
They
have a
both
thing
make
to
it.
make it 3D.
All right. Well, they don't move, but they will take a
We
little
just
bit
need to
of
start
damage.
printing out tiles.
Yeah, and we have to figure out how to. We need to suspend a camera or something like that to be able to have a top down.
Oh, that's like 3 nines.
Yeah, I've got a thing that
Oh, no,
you
it's
stack.
like-
It's a clear plastic. You just
Mhm.
look down through it.
That's awesome.
It's got a grid system already on it, which is nice.
So 32 halved is 17.
17.
I'll take 17 points of damage. Force damage each.
16.
16.
Okay, so yellow and purple.
Green and purple.
Wait, hold on.
Because red is flat down, laying on the ground.
Okay, green is not as big, so I'm sorry, I should have clarified
okay.
that. Green is still the shadow thing and not the stone thing. Does that?
So green will be shorter than me.
Yes.
Oh,
since I kind of had a misleading answer to that question because I
okay.
derped.
No, it's
if
fine.
you
I'll
want to
get.
do something
I'll
different,
at least.
feel free.
I'll at least have got purple
Okay.
then.
So how much?
16.
Oh, how do you want to do this?
Just get sucked up, swirled around, and when the silver pocket watch comes to me, just like it rains gravel.
Yeah.
We put them through the rock tumbler. They're all sort of like shiny rocks.
Yes.
I don't know if you've ever seen spaghettification occur before, but on a rock monster, it's real fascinating.
Yeah. Just like weird tubed rocks.
Yeah. It was an interesting thing to see.
Rocks too.
All right. Good job, Enery. Janice. Who's up?
Same thing as last time. I'm gonna stab that shadow with my staff. Does a 27 hit?
Oh, definitely.
Nope.
Then I deal 54 points of damage as he begins to turn to amber.
And he does. Like part of him solidifies as he goes, and he's not out yet. How much did you say?
54.
Yeah, the unconsciousness thing wouldn't work for him. But he is slowly like crystallizing all of him. It's real interesting, and he is really, really hurting. Let's see, and that brings us down to Elaine.
Yep. So pink guy, how's pink guy doing?
Pink guy is also looking real rough.
He is prone.
He is
but
still
no longer
prone,
stunned.
no longer stunned, so you still have advantage.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you would anyway because we're flanking, but yeah.
So 23 to hit,
Mm-hmm.
and where's my pencil? Another first level smite. Because why the hell not? So that is 9. So 16 points of damage for that first one. And an unnatural 20 hits, I'm assuming.
Yes.
By
the hair of his chinny chin chin. Guess he doesn't actually have hair.
Save that.
It's a moss.
And then 9 points of damage. No, sorry, 10 points of damage for the next one. For that hit.
Cool. So you strike him down, and he crumples down to his knees and falls face first forward. He is still alive. He is unconscious.
Nice.
And
Emil, well, I guess I can't really
alright.
see you.
Is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. So the one guy who can do anything is our shadow guy, who is slowly turning into amber but tries to make one swan song attack towards Janice.
Yes.
19?
Yes, that will hit.
Okay.
I will retaliate.
And that's going to be 17 points.
21 to hit,
Yep.
and that will be 8 points of damage.
How you want to do this?
Nice.
Just straight through the center of mass.
Center of mist. Center of amber right now.
Yeah.
So you thrust through this part, and he shatters, and what little wisps are left of his shadow form just dissipate as the rest of him shatters into amber on the ground. And the other two are still unconscious, so I will let you take this over as, yeah,
We will finish them off.
Yes.
Yeah, nice and easy.
you can just take that over as narrative.
Yep. Coup de grace. Knock them off. Be done with it.
Yes. You can add whatever color you want to with that.
Well. Oh.
Oh, I'm little again.
Ew.
When we're little again.
Just flip my glaive, ram it down between rocks, and dig it in until it stops.
And it does. It shudders at your glaive's strike, and then you can kind of see whatever has been holding this together let go, like whatever soul inhabited it has left, and the rocks crumble into essentially gravel at your feet. Pardon us while we have technical
I'm
issues.
trying so hard, and it's just
I think you need a new mouse.
more new batteries.
That might do it.
It's actually working for me all right today. I didn't swear at it once yet.
Yeah.
2 more D8 from you.
I'm not gonna promise it's not gonna happen. Howdy ho! All right. Huzzah! All right.
I heal everybody for 22 points of damage.
How's everybody doing with that 22?
I'm 2 down, but other
I'm
than
back
that, I'm
to full.
fine.
Still hurting, but be okay.
I'm at like a third.
Okay,
Or sorry, 2/3, not a third.
You're
And
down.
Janice,
Down
how
a
are you
third.
doing?
I am now at 14
Okay.
damage taken.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, not hit points
Okay,
remaining.
I was like, well,
I'm just down what Janice did to me at the beginning.
okay. Go ahead and take another 10. How are you?
I am only like 2 down.
Okay. You?
I'm down 32.
Okay, go ahead and take 20. Emmeline, how are you doing?
I'm full. I'm good.
Okay, take 30.
Okay. I'm only down by 2 now.
I'll use Cure Wounds to heal you up the rest of the way.
You owe him that.
Yeah.
If Pyre had any healing spells, he would have owed all of you a fair bit.
Well, it's,
Or if he'd cared.
That's the bigger point.
Yeah.
well, I don't know if it's a good thing to see these further west, but
Indeed.
The rose bush that has been traveling with you has been hiding behind one of the trees.
Just put roots in the ground.
You
and
pretty
protect
much
the
just
rose bush.
you can't see me.
It's safe. Alright, she can't understand me.
Which one of you can she understand? What?
Those
Oh,
two.
Henry and me.
Yeah, you guys. So she's kind of stayed out of the way and begins to uproot herself and move towards you. You can kind of tell that was a new thing for her. She hasn't seen. She might have seen the shadows before, but she looks really, really concerned about the fact that the stone shadows are here, and that they exist at all.
Fair.
She looks really, really terrified and moves towards. Did she figure out that you speak it too? No. So she moves toward Henry, who still looks at her very awkwardly, and begins to kind of babble at you in Sylvan. We must go deeper into the forest now. My husband, if they've been impacted by this, we need to be able to help them.
oh, we're on our way there, yes. Or we're heading westward.
She nods and just kind of starts moving that direction in towards the woods.
I guess we're going.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
So, it's probably like kind of early afternoon and whatnot about this point, because you guys had the Tweedle experience and traveled a little bit before you hit these guys. So as you continue forward, you're getting a little bit more into the what is it, the Tubly Woods?
To Blave.
Tublade.
Which obviously means
The
well.
Yeah, the Tubly Wood. And as she moves forward, she tells you that the Borrowed Hoves are deep in the Tugly Wood, kind of into the darkest areas. As you move forward, there are a lot of Mycenids that seem aware of your presence, but not concerned about it. They don't seem to really pay you all that much mind. You begin to hear whispers in the trees that you don't necessarily understand, but occasionally, well, you might. They're, yeah. roll me a perception check.
Obligate Vietnam joke here.
What? Nope, never mind.
Yeah, I've never been super comfortable in forests.
It's just wind in the trees. That's
Okay.
all.
They used to take long walks in the forest on the estates. It was always nice. This is not like that.
Not nice.
Well, not as nice, no.
You mean your trees didn't whisper at you?
No, they did not.
And the shadows of your trees.
And if they had,
attack
we would have
you.
had them cut down.
I wouldn't say that too loud here.
I'm gonna let you tell me if you ever get triggered. You would probably know a little bit better, like how much that would take. So you continue walking through, and the deeper you get, the weirder things get. You can occasionally hear from deep in the woods something that sounds like a pan flute. That as you begin to make noise through that direction goes silent. Kind of off in the distance, like it's close enough, but you can hear like chirping that goes silent as you approach. The deeper you go in, you begin to be aware of flitting pixies and other creatures that are deep in there, black squirrels that are running from tree to tree, and the whispering begins. Go ahead and roll me perception checks, everybody.
21.
There you go.
14.
14.
11.
16.
It's a nat 20 for a 24.
Okay. You guys can tell that there are actually words happening here. Like there are things whispering around you. You don't understand the language, Elaine.
Now that it's been brought to my attention,
Yes,
now I
now
know.
that it's been brought to your attention, you can understand the language. To you guys, it just sounds like an eerie wind that it sounds like whispering, but you can't really fully figure out where it's coming from. You guys, it's coming from the trees. The trees are literally whispering to each other and sending a signal. You can hear, while it's not super clear, you can make out some of the conversation that's happening where they're pretty much announcing to the trees more forward in the forest that the queen is being returned.
Okay.
And there's some conjecture as to whether it might have been you guys who stole her.
Oh.
But it's a mixed opinion poll at the moment. It's about 50-50. Some folks are like, no, why would they bring her back? Some people are like, I'm sure that they're holding her hostage and this is like some sort of
ransom.
yeah, pretty much.
Birchwood is on our side, but the ash and the oak.
Yeah, you can't trust those ash and oak
Willow's still
trees.
sort of
On the fence.
Toe in the
blowing in the breeze.
Yep. It's just very much wavering back and forth. So
Willow is a fence.
oh, be a very unfortunate way to end up. So as you're traveling deeper, the whispers begin to get stronger and stronger, and as you go farther into the forest, darkness seems to fall, but you're not totally sure if it's the natural darkness of day falling, or if it's just kind of more the canopy of trees getting thicker and thicker. And as you get a little farther in, one of the trees, a creature steps out from it, pulling bark away from the tree that makes his own frame up. Again, kind of looks halfway between a druid and a treant, much taller than your rosebush friend, and in something that resembles armor, like a kind of wooden armor that is kind of crudely shaped to better camouflage him. He steps out with a spear in his hand and approaches the lot of you and kind of puts his spear down right in the middle of the path that you are walking.
I will stop short. I don't know about the rest of these guys.
You don't want to try and sneak past?
No.
Are you gonna introduce yourself?
No.
I'm gonna sort of look to the tree queen.
Yeah.
She kind of slithers up. Her little roots going. She approaches and kind of nods her head towards him, and he nods back and looks to all of you, and you guys understand that he says, "Are they friend or foe?"
Friendly foe.
You guys just hear a very intimidating sounding, like, Hasata Vashana. And don't ask me to say that again, because I have no idea what sounds I just made.
It's a parcel tongue.
Kind of. She responds in kind, and tells him that you have saved her from the Red Queen's castle. You hear him becoming agitated and saying that you should join the strike against the Red Queen in retaliation. He seems to not be aware at this particular point that any of you speak Sylvan. So.
Which is fair.
And he gestures to all of you, like with his spear. He bangs his spear on the ground and looks to all of you. And in Sylvan, he says, "You will join us in fight." And he says it as though, like, saying it slowly and in as few words as possible would make a difference. Kind of like what we do to people that speak foreign languages. Kind of makes himself look a little like an idiot to you two. But you guys, you just see him pretty much.
Henry,
Yes.
is he saying he's going to kill us?
No, he wants us to join the fight against the Red Queen.
Ah, so you plan on fixing that, right? Cause
No. The situation with the Red Queen has been resolved.
He if Bart could blush, he'd be embarrassed. You've killed her then.
No, we took away evil shadow that was possessing her, and now she's okay and is refixing everything. And we are now bringing your queen back as an apology for what has happened due to what has happened with her brain during the dark time.
I really enjoy that you use like little words back.
He just assumes that you don't speak it fluently and you're just piecing this together.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't know I could speak.
That is fair. He looks at you. You sure?
Yes.
She no threaten anymore.
No. We have ensured that. Used magic to protect her. The power of the Gatekeepers Guild has protected her. Locked away evil spirits.
He looks at you kind of weirdly. They have a guild now.
Apparently.
They do now.
They do now.
Okay, Janice, how hard are you trying?
Like, it is abundantly clear as they're going back and forth. He is not trying to hide the fact that he absolutely understands what is going on. Like last time when he was telling Henry to ask the rosebush things, he wasn't waiting for him to translate it back to him. He has not been hiding this.
I haven't rolled smart enough to figure that out yet.
Let's see if he's actually. Nope, that's a nat one. So he looks to you, still completely not acknowledging the fact that you seem to understand what's happening. I think his comrades have been captured.
The Gatekeepers Guild members.
Yes.
Oh, I have comments.
Well, guild members anyway. Fellow.
Allow me to converse the information. Shifting.
So Janice.
We haven't heard a lot of it.
I know.
Apparently, a couple of your guild members have been captured.
Guild members?
I assume he's referring to some of the other employees or whoever is in charge of other gates. I assume some of them have been captured.
So he's saying that there are other gatekeepers and they've been captured.
Well, yeah, because the Tweedle said that there were several other gates, remember?
Okay.
Why don't
Have you guys not unionized yet, or?
Come on, man, lawyer up.
This whole
Vacations,
just-
benefits.
Why don't you ask him yourself?
Well, Henry seems so excited to talk, and he seems like such a shy fellow. I thought this was good for him to get out of his shell.
Well, I'm the only one who can talk to him.
No.
No, you're not, dear.
What do you mean?
I will say in Sylvan. Oh, I speak the language.
Oh.
Oh. Huh.
Does the queen react?
She kind of looks slightly unsurprised, but
In common. Have you always been this way?
What way?
An asshole.
What? You're going to have to explain that to me. What is an asshole?
Oh, you sweet innocent child.
Not that he would know. He does not have one.
I had one.
Had.
Not anymore.
Okay.
Had that surgically
Thank
removed.
you for specifying that you didn't have a metal asshole.
We'll speak later. Back to the task at hand.
the Triad is just standing here looking very confused. So you both speak our tongue.
Yes.
Yes.
You shall come with me to speak to the king. He will be most gracious that you have saved his wife.
Sure.
You will be welcomed. And he turns and just kind of like saunters off using the end of his spear sort of as a walking
I
stick.
guess I'm no longer in the lead because I don't know what's going on.
We're following this spear guy. He's going to take us to the king, and the king, I guess, will thank us for bringing her back.
That sounds fair.
Also, this would be useful. We could use a guide.
So he leads you deeper into the forest, and with his supervision, fewer things seem to be fleeing from you, and you're becoming more and more aware of the abundance of odd wildlife that is around you. In small pools of water that are from unmarked streams that they wouldn't show up on the map, just tiny little streamlets.
My socks are wet.
You're wearing boots.
I am wearing boots.
There are these interesting little birds
don't wear
that
boots.
come out of the
I
water
just have metal.
and flitter. They kind of look like
How do you
hummingbirds, but
Manage boots with
with a
hooves.
tail, fish
bottom
tail.
half of me is human.
Okay.
It's just like from torso up.
Makes sense.
It's like that awkward thing that happens when mermaids get backwards. You end up with a fish head and human legs. It's that moment.
Yeah, it's super ugly.
But yeah, you see like these really cool almost fairy fish that come out looking sort of like hummingbirds, but with fishtails out of the ponds, and kind of like hover around you when you are with your companions. There are different like whispering creatures, and at the ground level, the squirrels seem to be chattering amongst each other and examining these new people that are coming through. And as he continues forward, he enters into this kind of tree-formed alcove, kind of deep into the woods. You kind of gather that you are in the deepest part of the forest at this point. And against a throne of stone that has been covered in vines, there is a very tall Dryant Triad thing sitting there. He has a fine cloth kind of draped over one shoulder. Seeing as none of them are really wearing clothes, it could be assumed that maybe this was a gift of some kind, something like that. And he looks up from a very thoughtful position and sees Spear Guy walking forward, and then sees you guys behind him and stands very, very quickly. Roll me a perception check.
10.
11.
26.
Ooh.
27.
9.
Okay. You two, you see the cloth drop for a moment to his forearm, and he pulls it back up. And as he does, because it kind of covered this part before, as he pulls it back up to resettle it onto his shoulder, you can see where a couple of the vines in his arm seem to be changing color. They seem to be turning like blackish. And he quickly rearranges things so that it can be covered. He looks aggressive for a moment as he goes towards you, and then sees his wife behind you and stops in his tracks, and ignoring all of you, just pushes past you and wraps her up in an embrace. You hear him address her first. My love, are you well? What has happened? And then he realizes again that there are other people near, and also assuming that you don't speak the language, turns to Spear Dude and begins to ask where you came from, and if you are captives or if you are friends. He
Be they friend or foe?
He responds to them that you have come willingly as friends and have brought his wife back. At which point, I'm guessing since you two are in front, or since you two actually speak the language, you would have been the ones right behind Spear Dude.
Sure.
Yeah. So he turns around and wraps Janice up in his arms and gives you like this massive hug.
This is all I've ever wanted.
Oh, I do so wish the pan were here to see this.
We'll paint it for him later.
It's kind of one of those hugs that lifts your feet off the ground for a second, and he sets you back down. And he says, he speaks to you like a couple of sentences in Sylvan first, and then he pauses and shakes his head. No, this is your tongue, in common.
See.
Yes.
Duh.
You speak the tongue of the groundwalkers. You are welcome here. Thank you for what you have done for me, for my tribe, and for my family.
Yep.
You honor us, by rescuing our queen and my love. How may I repay you?
I was about to say, I don't know, what kind of currency do you use? Is it leaves?
Do you have
I don't say that,
Oh.
But I do think it.
but I do think it.
I mean, we basically know where we're going now, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere to the south of here.
We are going to the White Queen's castle.
Is this a conversation you're having out loud?
No,
Okay.
no, I just
This is us reminding Nat.
yeah, basically.
These are the players reminding another player what we're doing.
What the heck's happening?
Well, I couldn't remember if we had like an exact, like if a guide would be a good thing, or
I mean, a guide wouldn't be a bad thing.
I don't know, we've done just fine without one.
The only direction we have is west.
Well, not anymore.
South.
True.
if we could possibly be pointed in the right direction of the White Castle, and perhaps given a guide or some additional directions that may be helpful in what we're doing.
We can give you a guide as far as the forest's end, but because of certain changes in the geography, we are limited as to how far we are able to go. There have been things that have turned from the mountains, and we can only go as far as we can route. So our system, our colony, is limited in ways that it was not before. But I have to remember how to say this. Itzhak, he points at the spear dude. Itzhak will gladly guide you as far as the forest's edge. There are dangers in the forest that he can help protect you from.
Additionally, we have been made aware that there was supposed to be a sortie against the Red Queen. This will not be necessary any further, as the Red Queen had something of a curse placed upon her that caused her
Momentary lapse of judgment.
to make
Temporary strategic misalignment.
make choices that she would otherwise have never considered. That has been lifted, and the Lost Boys and their leader are helping to maintain the Red Queen's kingdom.
He kind of sits back and he turns to Itzhak. You believe them in Sylvan? He awkwardly looks at you too. Yes.
Say no now.
Prepares fireball.
He considers for a moment, and you can tell that he's having some issues trying to digest that idea.
Additionally, Your Highness, the Red Queen is distressed with the decisions that have been made. This was not something that she would have done otherwise. She is doing her best to repair the damage that she's done, and she has been extremely apologetic for what she has done, and if she weren't trying to keep at bay the curse that is currently still trying to get to her, she would probably be here herself to make amends and apologize.
It is good for her that you have been sent ahead. She would not have received a warm welcome had your message not fallen to my ears before.
I think she would understand that.
It is difficult for me to accept. But I was also here when the breach of the shadows occurred. And I can understand where perhaps some things have acted in ways that they should not. There will be talks when and if all of this comes to an end. there shall be retribution, but I see no need for the payment to be in blood if the actions were not hers. I am glad that you have told me this. We have seen much darkness as of late, and fought many shadows that have come in through the breach in the walls. It has been difficult. I have witnessed several of the boys be taken by the shadows, where once this place was safe. I have seen my people struck down to kindling. And if you are here to help, to end this, you shall be greatly rewarded in any way that I can provide. Leaf money!
What kind of stuff you got?
All the stuff, all the stuff.
Money tree that grows money.
Money tree.
It's like your kind that grows currency. No, I don't say
So you say, my lord, that it is just the boys being taken?
Well, clearly he looks to his wife. It hasn't only been the boys.
Of course. Yes.
But we have seen them changed, and we have seen them taken. They have wandered more than many other species.
How have they been changed?
Some of them have been taken from our sights before change has been made. Some of them were dismembered before our eyes. Others of them were altered into something twisted and odd. He kind of reaches down a giant finger and he starts to trace the shape of something. What would that be? Only investigation or insight? I'll take whichever is
Oh,
higher.
I'm good at one of those.
It's an insight of 12.
Unnatural 20.
28.
I'm not sure Claudius would.
Fair enough.
That's a natural 20 for a 24.
Okay. You three? This looks an awful lot like something that you met in the Maze of Regrets.
Oh. The twisted random thing.
The Bodak?
The Bodak.
Oh,
Yeah, it looked
Frog
like a ghouly
a
cloaked.
sad sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
The one you charmed.
Yep.
Yep. That is what it appears to be.
Oh well, I'm blissfully unaware.
We have seen them turned into that before they were taken. We have saved some. The prince was saved by others who came through the forest gate and returned to Cannibal Cove.
Where is that from here?
Just north, past Crocodile Creek, separates the boundary between us and the Rune Jungle.
That's the opposite of the way we need to go.
We figured we could go to the White Castle first and then up to Black.
Through Cannibal Cove.
Well, he has, because the Black Castle's in the water.
Is there something else that we can do for you before you set back out?
Perhaps. Is Cannibal Cove out of your reach?
Yes and no. It is out of our geographical reach, but not out of their reach, and we do have contact with the residents. They can come into our forest. And do.
Might I ask if a message can be delivered there?
Yes.
Does anyone have writing utensils?
Yeah.
Thank you. And so I'm just going to write up a note that says, at the very top it says, Joe Shillworm. Your uncle, Virgil, is alive and well, and is coming, should he be able to traverse the land. The Red Queen's castle has been liberated, and he shall be there as soon as he can.
You hand it to him, and he hands it to his wife, who turns to one of the other dryads standing in the circle and like hands it off quickly now, as quickly as you can, and you kind of see all of the trees like sweeping this message away into the forest. It's like this amazing wave kind of a thing that happens, like, and it's off.
Thank you. I was asked to pass along that message from one of the residents of the Red Queen's. I suppose the town surrounding the Red Queen's castle.
The light grows dim. Do you require rest?
Yes.
Yes.
Like, heck yeah!
When offered a safe place to stay, you take it.
Yep.
You are invited to stay here. And
Thank you.
as he says this, like, a few trees that don't seem to be sentient, like, he kind of reaches up and some of them bend over and kind of form a hut, pretty much, for you. Tonight we will feast in honor of the queen that you have returned to me at my side.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The feast is just like giant planter boxes.
Lettuce.
You're not totally wrong.
Imagining this is very vegan.
You're quite right. But real good. They kind of go to work, like, collecting and gathering, and you can kind of see their fireflies, like these ginormous fireflies that just, like, sit at the edge of this little area that has been created and just, like, shine like light bulbs. They're just sitting on trees with their butts out going, hi! And so the area around you is well lit. Smaller fireflies are kind of flickering about. You can hear, like, there's a weird band of something that looks kind of akin to a jackalope next to you guys playing music. Like, really interesting group of critters all hanging out around the space. The trees have been kind of instructed to make sleeping space for you, so in the little cubby hole that has been created by the bending trees, they're laying beds of leaf down, and these gigantic oversized kind of elephant ears down on top of the leaf beds to create like a nice solid kind of comfortable bedding for you, and you are invited to sit on the ground. There are more elephant ear things that are laid out kind of like a tablecloth on the ground, and just huge amounts of like berries and beans and all of these different things are set in front of you, like really, really delicious bean stews and different kinds of fruits and maybe a handful of insects. It's an interesting table layout, but it all actually looks pretty good. Even the grubs don't look too terrible. So you are invited to feast with the community.
Okay.
Do you guys want to do anything or have conversations with anybody?
I don't know that most of us can.
Yeah, I can't think of anything. So be polite, stay until, looks like it's starting to wind down a little bit, and then I'll go crawl into one of the sleeping spots and rest.
So, Keith, do you sleep like a person or like a cat?
Like a cat.
I'll do my berry trick, try and get into a flower, give it to people.
One of the little, the smaller triads looks at you, a little sapling that looks at you, and his eyes get really big. He's like, "You too!" And he holds up his hand. I didn't know groundwalkers could do that. You gather that this is probably like the son of the king.
Oh, is he speaking
actually?
in
Yeah,
common?
he's speaking
Okay.
in common.
I was gonna be like, okay.
Yeah.
You say kid.
Yeah, this one's speaking actually in common. It's a little more broken than that, but he holds up a flower to you too. Trade.
Done.
This is neat, and he kind of like grafts that flower onto his arm, and it kind of opens up a little farther. I like it.
That's a fascinating trick. This is beautiful. I'll cherish it.
I am glad that you're here. Most groundwalkers don't stay long. This is a nice change. The only groundwalkers that ever stay are the Lost Boys.
We aren't here for long, but we'll pass back through. We're trying to give light to some of the darkness.
We'd like that. We don't like the dark.
We don't either.
He kind of goes over to a group of other little saplings, and you can kind of see they're playing hide and seek behind other trees. So it's kind of an interesting thing to see. It's like, okay, which one of these is actually a tree? Which one is not? It kind of becomes a guessing game more than it does hide and seek. But they're real cute.
It's adorable.
Any other business type things that you would like to take care of?
No, just enjoying the food.
Okay. You are well treated and well entertained throughout the evening. When you turn in, there are apparently fireflies that have been instructed to show light around, like not inside so that you can have a good night's sleep, but all around your little hut is lit by fireflies, so you can pretty clearly see. And the king does look to you and say, "You will be well protected this night by the rest of us," and promises to watch over you guys.
Sweet.
This is going to be the one night that we figure out that most of us don't actually sleep.
Right. Forget that.
Do you
Wait, how many of
guys-
us actually sleep? You sleep, and you sleep.
I get like 6 hours of just going like this. I see everything. I just don't
Yeah,
move my
it's
body.
like us. We just
And we just
meditate
sleep
and we
for
can
4
see
hours.
everything.
I turn into like a camera.
Just
Like a
constantly
I turn into a
mode.
security camera basically.
I love
His
it. I love
face
it.
opens up and a little lens.
It looks like a watch.
Just like the things from Horizon Zero Dawn. Just the one camera.
Do you
It's like
guys
how-
do watches still, or do you?
I mean,
No,
I'm pretty okay with
I'm not
this.
worried about it.
I'm not worried.
Okay. So
For
you
now.
all go in and turn in for the night. Let's see. Okay. It's a relatively uneventful night outside. Everybody make me a wisdom save.
Here it is.
Ah, shit. Wait, this is considered against magic? Yes?
18.
No?
That'd be an 18 for me.
Would telepathy be considered magic?
Yes.
Your call.
It depends.
You
Is
get
this
to decide what
are they
magic
using
is
it as
and
an
not.
ability like a spell or is this inherent?
From this source, it would be more an inherent thing. So
Okay.
probably wouldn't have resistance against this one.
Okay. Then I fail.
Oh dear.
You have a bundle of inspiration.
10. Oof.
I do.
18.
18.
Hold
18.
on.
18.
18.
I have more inspiration.
Nat 20. No, that was the laugh.
I couldn't
Went
see
from a
zero,
2
I just saw
to a
a
nat
2.
20.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
27.
I need to
27.
remember to give myself fortune's favor before I go to bed every day.
What did you
I'm
say yours was?
almost curious.
18.
18. Okay.
Like,
Okay.
what happens when I fail? I mean, you kind of told me, but
yeah, you kind of
this
know.
might not be a good place for that to happen. So,
Should probably not as much. So this is gonna be a minute around the table. Sorry. Emily, we'll start with you. As you get lulled off to sleep, now you kind of realize, all of you sort of realize that you've been sleeping. Well, sometimes you feel like there are things creeping into your brain that you have to push out. For the most part, you have dreamless sleep here. Which kind of makes sense when you think about it. But tonight you dream. And as you dream of a man sitting across from you. You're in a beautiful kind of penthouse area. Looks like you're back in London with your more normal kind of real world self. And there's a man sitting across from you, like, telling you wonderful stories of adventures, and you find yourself kind of getting lost in his visage, in his stories. He's very charming. And kind of mid-sentence, he pauses and he looks into your eyes. Has anyone ever told you how beautiful you are? Because it's true. You are. We could be together, you know. You could join me. I think it might be for the best. I know that I am not a popular man in the eyes of you and your companions. But I assure you, my intentions are pure. What I want is what everyone wants: freedom. I want freedom for you and your friends. Freedom from this form that you're currently in. And he kind of like gestures to your old lady self. Like, what would you give to be able to be how you are now in this land? And he snaps, and you become this beautiful cat lady. It's like you could be young and agile again. You could be what you imagine yourself to be. And there's nothing wrong with that. Every creature here deserves freedom. It's the freedom that I was denied. And he just kind of sits next to you, kind of comes over to the little love seat where you are by the fire, and he pats your hand on your knee. And he says, consider it. Just consider. That's all I ask. And as he says this, all of a sudden the whole scene goes black, and you feel like you're stuck in this massive desert, completely alone, in your form as an old woman. And you feel kind of this pit in your stomach sink. And you realize that you feel this, you felt this before. You felt this looking on at other people with their families through your window, realizing that your servants have loved you in their own way, but it's never been real. You were paying them to. And you believe in your head that you are alone. And then you start awake. And for just a moment, you think you are still alone. And it takes a moment for the room of people to kind of come back into focus. What did you roll?
Rolled a 1.
Ooh.
I have a bonus of 1.
Ooh.
So a very unlucky 2.
That's real unlucky too. So, as you drift to sleep, you also begin to dream. And as you dream, you begin to see the children from the street that you used to populate. That sounded weird. That came out of my mouth weird. Anyway, you see them playing with the Lost Boys. And an older man, not older, but probably mid-50s, very salt and pepper, well-kept beard, looks like he's been a bit worn in the eyes by time, but otherwise not a particularly rough-looking person. Kind of walks up to you through these children, and he looks at you. Isn't it wonderful to hear them play? It's one of the best sounds. It's one of my favorite sounds. Afraid it was a sound I was denied. I was never given the benefit of actually being able to have children or really much of a life at all. That's what happens when irresponsible gods decide that they'll have their way with you. Then just leave you in the pits of hell to relive the mistakes of your ancestors day after day after day. And these poor children, they're trapped, just like everyone's trapped. Do they really deserve to be unable, he points at one of the Lost Boys, to be unable to play with their real-world counterparts? Do they deserve to be limited by a landscape? And these boys, he points to the real-world boys, do they really deserve to never be able to go any farther than what they are? To never be able to exceed their current status in life? To never be given a chance to live? Do they deserve that? What if they could have whatever they imagined? What if they could have the life that they desired? Because believing in it would actually give them passage. Seems like a mighty fine reason to bridge the gap between this place and reality, doesn't it? Just think on that. Just consider it.
I've been made promises before.
Wounds heal slow. But you might notice, here they don't seem to. They seem to heal much quicker. Wrongs seem to be set right much easier. I mean, sure, the battles are a bit more cinematic. Oh, forgive me, different time frame. More literarily appealing, we'll say. Picturesque, that's a good word for it. But at the end of the day, did not the Red Queen tell you that she might be able to undo the wrongs that were already done?
Not by her hand.
Unfortunately, in change, comes a little bit of mess that has to be cleaned up afterwards while people figure out how things shift and change and why. But she can undo those wrongs. Now, what if that power could seep into your reality? And all of those children that were snapped away by life could be unsnapped. It's an interesting thought. I don't think you and I want anything that's all that different from one another. We might have different ideas of how to get there, but I mean no harm. I only mean to rectify.
The lost boys who were casualties in your quest for truth, for change.
He gestures kind of around you to the lost boys running around. If I can make them real here, I can make them real anywhere. If I can just bridge that gap.
Their lives are not yours to make.
They might not have been mine to make, but they might be mine to save. They might be yours to save. What if you had a position where you were able to decide the fate of the children of the world? Not decide their lives. That's not for either of us to decide, like, when they actually take shape, that becomes a bit of a different picture. But whether they live or die, whether they can come back, whether they can actually live good lives or bad, what their possibilities are, I can think of no better man than you, than to be in the charge of these brilliant young lives. And as he says this, he kind of fades into the back, and the playing children kind of, they fade into that same darkness, and then you get the image of the ones from reality that have left and never come back. You see them in their pain and in their misery as they were. And you wake.
Oh. Okay.
Did you want to... Was there something else?
No.
You sure?
Yep.
If you want another RP thing in there, that's totally fine.
Nope.
Okay. So, let's see. You saved? Mm-hmm. You had like a 28 or something obscene, right?
18.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
As you drift off to sleep, you can hear this babbling coming from behind you. And this rabbit jumps forth, and he looks at you. Why are you not moving quickly?
What?
You are late. You have always been late.
I don't know what time is. What time it is.
This! He points to his watch and just like grabs your arm and starts to pull, and as he starts to pull, time slows down.
What?
You start kind of running through this area that seems like you feel like you're moving slowly, but everything on the outside of this weird little vortex that you are being pulled through seems to be moving even slower.
Okay.
And as you land and at like this tumble with this strange little rabbit creature, you tumble out and you see like a point in your life, in your history, in the clock shop where you are a very young man. Younger than you are now.
Right.
You kind of topple in and you see yourself. And the rabbit looks up at you. That's not right! Grabs you again, and you're going back through this other portal. And this time it seems like you are going so fast, but the world around you is moving even faster. and you topple out into this space where it's like you see an older you, much older, behind that same counter, fixing clocks with a large scar across your chest. And you seem to be moving much slower than used to. That's not right either! And he grabs you again and just what? As you're like traveling through this kind of like portal, and you feel like your belly button being sucked through
I'm
first.
just having like that Doctor Strange moment.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a very Doctor Strange kind of a feeling. And as you dump out this time, you see yourself in a bed with a couple of people. You can't identify them very easily right now, like either side of what looks to be your deathbed.
Oh.
He kind of looks to you and he points. He's like, I told you, you were late!
This is the weirdest version of Ghosts of Christmas Past that I have ever heard.
I hadn't really thought about that, but that's pretty on point. You could have avoided all of this, but no, did you? Why?
Death is inevitable.
Who told you that?
Everyone I've ever talked to.
He grabs your arms and like just falls backwards. And as you topple out this time, you topple out at the feet of this this man who who looks a lot like the guys that were in the other two dreams. He's well dressed, and he has a pocket watch that he's looking at, and he clicks it as you just tumble out at his feet. Well, hello there. Nice of you to make it. I've been waiting.
That's not my fault.
You're right. It's not. Time is unfair, isn't it?
Yes and no, but...
What if you didn't have to live in the constraints of time anymore? What if you no longer had the burden of having to exist with this miserable notion that time exists?
That would be nice, but that doesn't exist.
You see, you are a smart man, and I am a smart man, and we both understand that time is just a construct, something we made up, something that perhaps we have convinced our bodies to believe. I don't know what's being blown on. Oh, I see. Taking a page out of my book. So, what if I could offer you freedom from this bane in your life? What if? Would you accept it?
It's a lot to take in. I don't know.
Think on it. You don't have to answer right away. I will be here, in the back of your mind's eye.
Good.
All you ever have to do is simply call for me. You'll know my name when it's important. It will be right there in the back of your mind.
What? This is him not knowing what to say.
Not to worry, my friends. Not to worry. My companion here, he kind of points to the rabbit that
Of course
looks
the
like
rabbit's
it's like
on his side. Why wouldn't the rabbit
losing
be
its
on his
mind,
side?
kind of spasming to the side. he can bring you back to where you currently are. But just keep in mind, I'm simply a man who believes in freedom. Sometimes it's freedom from tyranny. Sometimes that tyranny comes in different forms than we expect. And for you, I think the tyranny you are trying to escape is the tyranny of the clock. And you have that feeling like, you know when you wake up from something where you slip and you fall? It's that feeling. You like into your own little bed space thing.
Okay.
And you two make your saves, but you still dream. You have a dream that you are being invaded by someone else's mind. Someone's like knocking to try and get in. And you see his face, and he's an old man that seems very familiar to you. But you can't remember why. He seems very withered and weathered. And you feel for just a moment like your hand mirrors his for a second, like you're about to, it looks like he's knocking on a mirror to get in. And your hand just automatically comes up to mimic, and just before you knock at the same time as him, you pause. Kind of step back. There's something about this you don't trust. And in the back of your mind's eye, you turn and you see a man in very nice robes that kind of look like a much nicer version of what you wear to guard the gate. Very elaborate designs, brocade, long platinum blonde hair. And he's standing there with his sleeves. He has very long sleeves, and his hands are just kind of clenched here so you can barely even see them. And he looks at you with great sadness and says, "I'm sorry." And you wake up.
Before you do my dream, you might want to read the thing that I sent you on Facebook Messenger.
1 moment.
Because I had a thought. And sorry, I was sending it to you in the middle of the game.
Not yet. Yeah, not yet.
Not yet.
So those come specifically from the dreams?
You might have
What?
read mine.
Oh, I did. Sorry. Wrong
Okay, I was a little confused.
thing. wrong last name. Well, I mean, right last name. Wrong first name.
First name.
Doesn't help that you're both in both of the pictures.
Very different pictures.
Yeah, but you're both in them.
I think he's cute.
That's fair.
Ooh, I like that. That's pretty. Okay. So you kind of get pulled into this area. You're walking through a grand estate. And you see these beautiful rose bushes. And this doesn't look like the castle where you were fooled into thinking that the Red Queen was your mother. But there is someone there who is wearing what looks to be a pin of a rose on his lapel. It's a very well-dressed man who matches the description of the others. And he looks at you and he opens his arms and says, "Welcome home." And he goes to embrace you, but you pull away because something feels wrong about this. And he looks at you and smiles. "No, I don't mean me, but I know where they are. You would love to find your parents, wouldn't you? To know that you've been loved."
Why would you know?
I've been trapped in a place, reliving moments, twisted moments for a very long time. Now that I've broken free of that, it seems to have given me, we'll say, a different kind of sight. I can see things in the past, I can see things in the present, and I can see that in your future you'll be reunited with the ones who have loved you this entire time, but had to give you up. I can arrange this. You should be allowed to have this. It's not fair that this was taken from you.
I haven't done what I came here to do yet. I can't.
That's fair. Just consider. Keep my offer in mind. As he says this and turns to walk away, you start to see that there's a guard at the gate that matches the description of the platinum blonde man from Lance's dream. He's standing there, and he looks at you, and he looks like his eyes pierce your soul. And he just shakes his head and says, "No." And you wake up in your bed. And as this happens, you begin to hear like the chirping of morning birds, and you have this interesting sensation. You two actually feel very well rested. The rest of you, functionally, it doesn't impact your long rest, but you kind of feel like you've had one of those dreams where you've been running all night, or one of those things where like you went to bed and you dreamt of work, so you got up thinking you had not ever actually had a break from work. It's that kind of a thing.
Story of my life.
That has happened entirely too many times to be any kind of fun at all.
So you have been rested, but you are not super happy about it. You two are actually relatively perky. It felt like that dream didn't take up that much of your sleep, and you're okay. You are greeted with the smell of fresh berries that have been left in front of your little hut tent thing, and the smell of what seems like freshly baked bread, kind of sprinkled in different seasonings and whatnot, kind of sweet seasonings, and you roll me a perception check.
Oh.
Natural 20.
13.
9.
17.
23.
So you guys can see, you probably noticed this in the night, but just didn't bother to do anything about it. Henry is covered in flowers because the kids thought it would be really, really great to kind of reach their little tendrils in through the holes in the hut and decorate him, because they thought he looked real interesting just standing there like a statue. So Henry is now very flowerful. Whether you choose to take those off or not is up to you before everybody sees them. But you are well decorated.
Yeah. My mind is elsewhere.
That's fair. So you remain well decorated.
Henry, you're looking well dressed.
I guess.
Does the thing happen?
Oh yes, the thing happens. Would you like to describe the thing that happens?
Sure.
Go for it.
So Janice is no longer sitting in the room with you guys. In his place, their similar robe, but there are iron plates all across it like armor, and he has a full helm that comes down to a point, and there's just a little space where you can see his mouth and his chin, but he's in a full iron helm. You can't see his eyes, and he has an iron rod.
As if you couldn't get any more mysterious.
I bet
How-
this changes.
Is he enough like himself that he's still very recognizable?
No, but he is in the same place.
Janice?
Yes.
That is you, isn't it?
I am usually me.
Yeah, it's you.
I could give you an inspiration for that, but we're about to end the session.
What's with the new getup?
Sorry, what?
Does anyone have a mirror?
I don't know.
Beautiful change of pace.
This has never happened before.
Insight check. No. And that's a 10.
You're greeted at the door once they notice that there is movement in the hut by Itzhak, who looks through, and then his eyes settle on you, and you hear "Imposter!" as he points his spear at you.
No, I am me.
See if you recognize his-
I am me, he is he.
I mean, he's speaking the right language. And he kind of just roots himself off.
Any particular reason why you would look different, Janice?
What kind of roll would that be to figure it out?
Insight? Or Arcana maybe too. Whichever one is.
Why didn't you tell me Arcana? It would have been so much better.
Well, I think... Danny, you tell me what I figure out with a 23.
Oh. You have felt something kind of stirring ever since you crossed the Obsidian River. So, if you had to guess, because you knew that was the mark-off for the territory, if you had to guess, you would probably think that it was in fact linked to what area of the continent you are walking in.
So which gate you're feeding off of?
I believe that this may have something to do with us leaving the Red Queen's lands.
Ah, so there's
I-
different uniforms for different members of the guild.
She's not going to dignify that with a response.
If this was the case, wouldn't it be beneficial for all of us to join this guild?
Well, he's the only member. To an imaginary guild
Exclusive guild.
that may or may not exist.
We know it exists, Henry. Oh, don't hate me.
Long night.
Really? I slept quite well. Should sleep in leaves more often.
Are we leaving?
Does Claudius say that?
I would say that you're uninspired for that, but it's not really going to matter
And
in the next 5-10 minutes.
On that note, do we end the session?
Oh, please.
Please don't tell us. Let's not end a session on a really crappy joke.
We'll give you something so it's not right there.
Thanks.
Everybody roll me a perception check as you come out of your little hut.
Natural 20.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
7.
15.
15.
8.
You
Hi.
see a face in the forest line staying just out of sight. He's being pretty sneaky, but apparently not sneaky enough to hide from you.
Okay.
There is the head of a platinum blonde fellow who you just catch this flick of his hair before he disappears into the brush. And that is where we are ending tonight.
One time I don't roll a 20 on a perception check.
I got him.
So he's going somewhere else.
He seems to be headed, he was on like the west side of that area where you are. So for him to have disappeared, there's a fair
was one of
possibility
your
that he
gatekeeper
disappeared
friends?
westward.
Oh, okay. So
Or
could
not
say
westward,
right.
I'm sorry, southward.
you could say he's branching out.
Gatekeeper friend.
Oh,
Never
you
left.
just had to. You just had to. Dang it, with that last word. And Chipper, thank you for the compliment. My eyes appreciate it, and I will stare into your soul later. That sounds really weird, but
I mean, that's
I
your
regret
kink, that's your
nothing.
kink.
A little bit.
I hope you guys had a lot of fun. I hope that you guys had a lot of fun. We'll recap a little bit afterwards anyway, but and hopefully we'll actually, recap too at some point very soon. So yeah, I will turn the outro over.
Well, thanks guys for showing up and going along with us on the adventure. Had a good time. It was wonderful, awesome, awful, all at the same time. Yay. So hope you guys will join us again next week. Hopefully we'll be back on our Monday night next week. Stay tuned to the Discord and all the usual channels to be sure. We will let you guys know for sure. But plan on us being back on our regular Monday night next week.
Chipper, you're gonna have to explain that question.
Just as a reminder, we do have our we do have the YouTube channel. You can find all of the back episodes, recaps when we can get them done and get them posted, as well as other bonus materials that we do as well. And you can also keep tabs on us through the Discord server that we run. It's a good place to stay up on what's going on with this channel, with Curie's creative channel, and with Danny's creative channels as well. That's all from us here. Hope you guys are staying safe, staying healthy, and we will see you guys all next time. Remember,
Grab your bats and grab your balls.
and if everything looks like if
Again.
You want to do over? You want a mulligan?
Nah, I'm gonna have
Shall-
to take a
shall I
mulligan
take
on
it?
my part.
Do
Yeah,
I
go
need to
for it.
okay.
Go for it.
And oh gosh, you passed it to me.
And if anything, I don't really know what it is.
And if you have what? Huh? Wait, there we go. And if you have a hammer, everything is a glass house. There we go.
That's so good.
That's all. I'm going to bed
Good
now.
night. Good night, everybody.
I got it in my brain.